westradio.com. I'm Zavla Play. I'm here with Gabe Hammer, and we're waiting for Jim of Jim and Friends Read the News. Oh, sorry. Gabe,
how's it going?
reintroduce yourself, Gabe. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I'm Gabe Hammer, and I'm here at the studio waiting for Jim Van Valderen to come in for Jim and Friends Read the News.
Yeah. We have no idea where Jim is or what's going on.
MIA. So enjoy the music while we wait.
I really wonder what's going on. I just hope he's okay.
Yeah. He texts you back, right? We can probably cover.
Jim to come to the studio. Hope everything's okay with Jim. I'm assuming maybe his car broke down. I'm hoping it's something minor like that. Maybe having some personal drama. Maybe that's the possibility. That's a possibility. Hopefully nothing too serious. There's a study that links coffee drinking to longer living. New research has suggested that several cups of coffee a day might not be so bad for your health, and it might even be tied to longer life. Also, if you are so inclined as to desire to call Jim and Friends Read the News at any point today during the show, the phone number is right there on top of the screen on the website, but we can also tell you it's 935-2951. So what kinds of... Oh, here's the news.
The news must go on.
Yeah, the news must go on.
All right. Well, I got an article here for everyone. So this is about the Google Art Champion, Dylan Hoffman from Caledonia. This is pretty big news. A Wisconsinite did the artwork for Google, and it was shown a couple days ago, and millions, perhaps billions, well, yeah, more like billions of people got to see it. So let's read this story. So Google champion, Caledonia designs interim replacement logo for search engine. So Caledonia's Dylan Hoffman, age 7, has won this year's Doodle for Google contest. But he did a little more than doodling. We say to best some 114,000 fellow entrants, including high schoolers. The drawing by Hoffman, a student at the Prairie School in Racine, will run Friday in place of the Google logo and appear on all computers accessing all their computer search engines. Well done, Dylan. Google asked students to answer the questions. If I could travel in time, I'd visit blank, in both written and visual form. Dylan's reply was the drawing below plus this statement. If I could travel in time, I'd visit pirate times. I would explore like I would like to sail a pirate ship looking for treasure. Have a colorful pet parrot. Enjoy beautiful sunsets from desert islands. Ahoy! Dylan is also getting $30,000 for a college scholarship and can take credit for the $50,000 technology grant Google will be awarding his school. Not too shabby, but of course, this is one rocking sun. So here's the picture in the center for those watching online.
Yeah, we'll bring it way up.
I'm just talking to my mom on the phone. You guys need to...
Oh no, we're fine. We're fine.
So
That was that was our tech person. He's talking to his mom on the phone. And
colorful.
Here's a colorful picture. For those of you watching this online, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good
really
drawing.
well done. The shading on that G is really impressive. Like for a 7-year-old.
Oh yeah, this is a really good
How
drawing.
many 7-year-olds could shade
Well,
like that?
you should Google this drawing.
Yeah.
This is a very good drawing. Wow. So he won. Explain it to me again. He won this award because he was
Well,
in a contest.
yeah, it was a contest. 114,000 fellow people entered. You have to be, I guess, below 17 or so to get into the contest. And he was up against like high schoolers and stuff. And this kid, 7 years old, he did this drawing. It's like a pirate doing the G or the lowercase G, and the
Right.
uppercase G is like the sail of a ship. And I was watching the news when he talked about this, and I guess he did like several hundred rough drafts before
Really?
he came up with
Wow.
this one. So it's pretty amazing because the picture is bigger than he is.
Yeah,
that's a lot
Yeah,
of drawing.
that's what's impressive to me is the size. Of
Yeah.
for a kid, kids
Wow.
don't draw big like this, but this is good. He's a good artist.
Yeah, the
This
mass
kid
of
is
the
really good.
page is like twice the size of his body. So
And it
it's
doesn't
like-
look fake. It doesn't look like his parents.
No.
I'm sure his parents helped him, but
maybe with the layout,
you know, or some
something.
adult probably was helping him along. But it's still a really good drawing. I mean, it's got a real kid sensibility to it.
Yeah. Excellent work, Dylan.
There's speaking of, you know, in tech news, even though that's more like it's like tangential, but there's research in motion trying to reverse sales slumps on Blackberries that don't have a physical keyboard. Feature has kept legions of users loyal to the Canadian handset maker. I didn't know that BlackBerry was a Canadian handset. Consumers, well, I guess that's iPhones don't have a keyboard, right? Or they have a virtual keyboard. Yeah, so Apple's iPhone has them, and the Google Android also has more than 80% of the market, the Google and Apple. So RIM, which I guess is Research in Motion, is giving away prototypes of the device in an effort to persuade developers to design apps for the new operating system. That's a really uninteresting story. Sorry, but it's about somehow BlackBerries are catching up. They're catching up with iPhones.
So they're using the touch screen then.
Yeah, somehow. Maybe I thought it was going to be something much more impressive than that. I thought it was going to be like, I've heard about these things where it's like a phone that projects. Have you heard about that? Or like a computer that projects onto a wall?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything.
Yeah. And
It's
that
like-
you can project. I forget. I read this somewhere when we were looking for news. I probably have it somewhere in my news articles
You
where.
can watch movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can also it's really crazy. You can project. It will project onto an object. Like, let's say you're in a bookstore. It'll project onto it, and then it'll tell you things like reviews and stuff like that. Like, it'll recognize the object.
Wow.
And then it'll project information from the web about that object. So if you look at this microphone, for example, it might be able to recognize the microphone, and then it might tell you like that there are versions available on eBay, or I don't even know. But so that's
future
kind
for
of
you.
kind of crazy when you think
Future
about
is now.
it. But all that stuff requires low light, so I'm not sure how that works.
All right. So I got another story here. This is real estate news, and this is from CNN Money. So this is just a bunch of statistics about what's going on right now in real estate. So the percentage of borrowers who have dropped behind on their mortgage payments fell to a 4-year low in the first 3 months of 2012, a bankers group said Wednesday. The Mortgage Bankers Association said Wednesday that a percentage of loans delinquent or already in foreclosure process during the first quarter was 11.33%, the lowest level since 2008. That was a decrease of 1.2% points from a quarter earlier and 98% below the rate 12 months earlier. Delinquencies are clearly continuing to improve, says Michael Fratantoni, the MBA Vice President for Research and Economics. Another hopeful sign is the falling percentage of borrowers who are just getting into trouble, ones who have missed one payment. That's useful for predicting the more seriously delinquents to come. Newer delinquencies, one payment past due as of March 31st are down to the lowest level since the middle of 2007, indicating fewer new problems we will need to deal with in the future. These new delinquencies represent 3.1% of loans outstanding, according to Jay Brickman, the MBA's chief economist. That matches the long-term historical average of 3.1% going back to the 90s. Basically, we're back to normal on that count, he said. So
we're back to normal? We're back to like the 90s?
no, not necessarily. Well, for certain things, like with percent going back to the so yeah, there's an average of 3.1% of delinquencies going on. So that's what goes back to the 90s, but many other things are not quite up to that yet. So hopefully that's one thing to wish for. A couple other things here. In the so-called judicial states, 6.9% of loans are in foreclosure inventory. Loans that the banks have begun the legal process of foreclosing on, but have not yet taken control of the property through a foreclosure sale. In non-judicial states, where foreclosures are handled by trustees, such as title companies, only 2.9% of loans are in foreclosure inventory. So, Yeah, it's just a lot of percentages, things like that.
Yeah.
So-
Well, part of the reason for all of this craziness, or related, is Bank of America made $4.4 billion in profits last year. This was after it received a $1 trillion bailout from the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department, and a $1.9 billion tax refund from the IRS. They made 4.4 in profits after they received $1 trillion bailout and a 1.9 or almost $2 billion tax refund from the IRS. General Electric made $26 billion in profits in the U.S. over the past 5 years. It only received a $4.1 billion tax return. Oh no, it also received $4.1 billion in a tax return from the government, and cut 1/5 of its jobs in the past 9 years, boosting its job rates overseas. And then Chevron.
That's well right there.
Yeah, I mean, this is Chevron's IRS refund last year totaled to $19 million, but its 2009 profits came to $10 billion. So it profited $10 billion, and it paid back to the government $19 million. So that's a very tiny percentage. Because how many million make a billion? Is it 1,000 million? I think it is
yeah,
1,000 million. Because you have 100 million, but you don't have
Right,
1,000 million.
that makes
so
sense.
1,000 million, but it's 10,000 million
Yeah, 10,000 million
would be a billion.
Right.
And they
This
made
would
the
be
10,000
9 zeros.
billion, 10,000. So it's like it's as if they made $10,000 and paid $19 on $10,000.
So it would be 1,000 billion. Because it's 9 zeros, right?
Yeah, but it's 10 billion.
10
10 billion. 1 billion is
Okay,
1,000 million.
yeah.
So 10 billion would be $10,000 million dollars. So it'd
Wow.
be, and then they paid $19 on every $10,000 they made.
That's
That's
really low.
Yeah, that's pretty. That is very low. That wouldn't happen in France. Boeing received a $30 billion contract from the Pentagon to build 179 airborne tankers. Of course, that's part of like the whole military-industrial complex. It also received a $124 million refund from the IRS. So it received a $30 billion contract from the Pentagon, and then received a $124 million refund at the end of the year. Valero Energy made $68 billion in sales and received a $157 million tax refund check from the IRS. So these people are just profiting. They're getting money back as if they're like poor or something. This is what normally
it's corporate welfare right there.
Yeah, exactly. Goldman Sachs paid 1.1% of its income in taxes in 2008 and made a profit of $2.3 billion and received $800 billion from the Fed. I think probably in the bailouts. So anyway, that's on the other end of the spectrum. You got the people with the foreclosed homes, and then the people with the the ones who are profiting from it all.
Huge imbalance going on.
Yeah. And then this is kind of related to foreclosures in a different way. And maybe you've heard this. I don't know if you heard this story, but no, you didn't, because I asked you about it earlier.
Yeah.
But maybe other people heard this. I didn't know this. I was looking at weird news stories, and a man was found after he had committed suicide 4 years ago in Milwaukee. His skeleton was found with a gun on his chest.
It's like Goonies right there.
Yeah. 4 years. I think it'd be creepier if he'd been dead for like 4 weeks or something.
You would think
Nobody
someone
noticed.
would notice.
Nobody noticed.
The car not going, or I don't know, just no action whatsoever at that house.
Yeah.
For 4
Well,
years.
this is a real estate where the reason that they found him was a real estate worker went into his home, his suburban home in Milwaukee, which they don't give the address of, after the bank officials finally realized he hadn't paid the bill in 4 years.
Oh, jeez.
And that's the only reason that
Took
they
a while
found
for them
his
to
remains.
Figure that one out.
Yeah, so it makes you think like you could probably get away with a lot in this world. The no bill or income tax had been paid since late 2007. which was the approximate date of his death. And I guess he was depressed because his mom died. And he didn't have any family members and apparently not many friends, even though they say he was a real nice guy. And this all comes from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel and Channel 58. But I guess the city of Milwaukee mowed his lawn and shoveled his snow since he went missing,
Wow,
and
that's,
sent bills to the house totaling $37,000 for the services that went unpaid. So the city maintained his house, but somehow they never knocked at his door or went inside.
wow. So,
Kind of strange.
yeah, I guess they didn't want to bother the guy, or
Yeah.
I figured he was
apparently.
depressed. He doesn't want to talk to anyone right now, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, do you want to? Should we listen to a song from your album?
yeah, it's an old album. I call it the Ghost album. You know,
Is there a particular track that you think we should listen to first?
Well, I like tracks 1 and 2 quite a bit because
Steal Your Attention and Evelyn of Avalon?
I like Evelyn of Evelyn. Yeah, it's from my old band Sweet Pick. It's it's a nice instrumental tune, a lot of energy and good sax parts and drum parts and everything I like for that tune.
And who's in your band? What's the name of the band and
It's
what?
called Sweet Pick. It's a band which no longer exists. We ended it in, I think it was 2009 officially. And one guy who lives out here, Pete Geraci, was our sax player, and he's now in a band called Cousin Dud, and they're in Chicago. And a couple other guys who are out in Chicago and various other suburbs of Illinois are in that group.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll give it a listen. Oops. I might have.
That's what I've been listening to in my car lately.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I love listening to old music that I made when I get a chance.
Hi, Jim and Friend Read the News.
Hello. Mine is Jim.
And who are we speaking with?
This would be Becky here in River West.
Oh, hi, Becky. Did you have a news story to share with us?
I do. I have a very important news story.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you guys know the answer to this question, but I found this online. A person would like to know, is it illegal to record and post noisy neighbors having sex online?
Huh.
Well, I suppose if the noise is like entering your space, then it shouldn't be illegal, right?
I don't know, but here's what the article says, if you guys would like to hear it.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, it says, a recent post by a Reddit user who shared a friend's cyber-savvy solution for noisy neighbors having sex attracted almost 2,000 comments. To teach the loud lovers a lesson, the friend reportedly recorded the cries of passion along with someone shouting for the couple to shut up, uploaded the recording to social sound platform SoundCloud, and then posted a note on the offending neighbor's door telling them exactly what happened. It says, this is really tapping into SoundCloud's full potential, wrote one commentator. That was, without a doubt, the worst Kesha song I've ever heard, another wrote. It's like she's not even trying anymore. And it said, hilarity continued to ensue. One Redditor, I guess that's what you call people who Reddit, one Redditor even remixed the NSFW sounds into a dubstep before SoundCloud removed the naughty noises from its site.
Oh, so SoundCloud removed it.
Huh.
Yeah, they did.
Well, that's good,
I suppose somebody complained about it being a little racy or something.
Yeah, or it could have been a lawsuit or something there.
Yeah, the article actually says that, of course, the recording clearly violated SoundCloud's terms of service, which prohibits content that is abusive, libelous, defamatory, obscene, racist, and sexually explicit.
Wow, it seems like it's all of those except maybe racist.
Yeah, it's not
All
racist.
of those and more. Yeah, maybe not racist. I guess it depends what they were yelling. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, we didn't hear that part.
And then it goes on to say, but what is still not clear is, however, whether recording your neighbors having sex and then posting it on the internet is breaking the law. So you can't post it on SoundCloud, but the real question is, can you record them and post it online somewhere?
And I'll be honest with you, I have no clue. I would not know.
Yeah, so I guess a lot of people had opinions on this. I mean, they had just a ton of comments on it. So, definitely one way to get your web page or your post noticed.
Oh yeah, sex is always a very
Sex sells.
it always works. And in fact, I have a story here from Russia. A Russian man was rescued from a trash chute after he became stuck during a desperate attempt to escape his girlfriend.
Why didn't he just use the door?
Yeah.
Good question.
He's hiding in the dumpster?
A 32-year-old, he attempted a rapid exit from the 8th floor of an apartment block in Siberia, and this was on Wednesday, and squeezed into a narrow garbage chute on the 8th floor of the housing block, attempted to slide down 3 floors before he came firmly wedged.
Those crazy Siberians,
Yeah. Eyewitness reported to the Regional Rescue Service that there was a man in the chute. The rescue crew found the man, who was stuck at the 5th floor in the garbage disposal. What sort of...
So he made it down 3 floors?
Yeah, I'm having trouble picturing this, but somehow he slid down 3 floors through this chute.
But he was found dead.
No, he was found
trapped.
glum looking.
Oh.
Glum?
Yeah.
I'd be pretty
And sitting
glum if I was
helplessly in the
stuck,
chute.
too.
He was glum and helpless.
Wow.
But it was not clear what prompted him to make such a desperate attempt to flee his girlfriend. That part we don't know. You probably have
He
to
must
read
have
Russian.
been pretty desperate, though. Maybe she was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's chasing him with the meat cleaver, and his only way out was through that chute. And looks like they found him.
Yeah. there's security footage in Idaho. This happened on May 20th. That's yesterday. Security footage at Fruitland coffee shop caught 2 robbers making off with a safe. One of them wearing underwear on his head as a disguise. That's actually
Nice.
pretty smart.
Unless someone recognizes
sounds
his
like
underwear.
that sounds like one of those
Maybe
trends. That,
ex-girlfriend or someone.
Yeah, right. If he had signature underwear.
it's like one of those trends that died
Hey, I
off
know
in the
that guy.
90s. You know, like you could see like a rapper wearing underwear on his head, like dancing around, like. And
Well, people always wear stockings on their heads, so
Yeah.
I mean, it is resourceful. You have to
he's trying to
give
make
him that.
He's trying to get a laugh out of him. It was like, look at these underwear. Tighty whitey. Were they tighty whities or boxers? That's the question.
Yeah, for some reason I'm guessing tighty whities. I don't know why.
That's what I'm picturing.
I'm picturing those kind.
There's an
They
episode.
fit your head more. They tidy, those kind of briefs would fit
Yeah.
your head better than boxers.
Remember an episode of The Silver Spoons where the main actor wasn't Kirk Cameron. I don't remember, but he was. His dad walked in on him. He was in his room dancing, and he had a pair of tighty whities on his head. He was like on his bed, like doing like some hip hop dance or whatever. And I don't know.
Is this something you guys do when no one's looking? Because I don't know many girls that are going to put underwear on their head.
No, this is back in the
let alone
90s,
anyone
like.
Only people only put underwear on their
That was
head in
like
the
kind of
90s.
passable, it was like the hip hop look.
Yeah, it was
What's
more
the rock thing?
influenced by Tom Cruise or something.
People were wearing their clothing backwards. If you see someone doing that now, it's ridiculous. But back when Criss Cross was hip, that was cool.
To wear underwear on your head.
Yeah.
It's still kind of
That too.
cool. Apparently, it's cool. I mean,
Boxer
the
shorts.
Safecracker did it.
Guess so.
Well, he pulled that off. He probably, got a giggle out of him. So they were like, "Oh, let's let him crack the safe." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here's a
Hey Gabe,
Huh?
you like organic food, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Here's an article you might like. It's from Health on the Today Show. They want to know, does organic food turn people into jerks?
Huh?
Good question.
I
It
would
says,
say-
"If it turns
Wait, which program asked this question?
I would say it depends on the
the
person.
Today Show."
The Today Show.
Yeah,
Oh,
hard-hitting news from the Today
Yeah.
Show.
And they ask if it turns people into jerks. And
Yeah.
so what was the what's the prognosis?
Well, they said, as it turns out, new research has determined that a judgmental attitude may just go hand in hand with exposure to organic food.
Ah.
In fact, a new study published this week in the Journal of Social, Physiological, and Personality Science, say that 10 times fast, it found that organic food may just make people act a bit like jerks. Because there's a line of research showing that when people can pat themselves on the back for their moral behavior, they can become self-righteous.
Well, see, now I would say that
Smug.
they're putting the cart in front of the horse
Smug.
because it's the jerky people are more likely to eat organic food, is my thinking. The way I would read it.
I don't know.
Dave's like, but I eat organic food.
Oh, organic food's good.
Yeah, well, so do I. So
I say
maybe
it depends on the person eating it. If someone's
Yeah.
a decent person, but a lot of people that are jerks are already jerks. They're jerks
Yeah.
to begin with, and they just like organic food.
Well, I would say that definitely pickier people eat organic food.
Or people a little bit
Very
more
true.
concerned about their health.
Right.
Yeah, well,
picky.
they actually did this
Yeah.
study on it, though. It
Yeah.
says they divided the team of 60 people into 3 groups, and one was shown pictures of clearly labeled organic food like apples and spinach, and the other was shown pictures of comfort food like brownies and cookies, and then the third group was a control group, and they were showed non-organic, non-comfort foods like rice, mustard, and oatmeal. And after viewing the pictures, each person was then asked to read a series of vignettes describing moral transgressions. Does that have anything to do with the food that they were looking at? I don't know.
See, that doesn't really make sense to me. Like,
I don't
it's not
I
like
don't
they're actually
understand
eating
how
organic food.
they're
Like,
just looking at pictures of it.
yeah, that I don't think that quite cuts it. Because
Yeah,
yeah.
because the organic people judged the little pictures a lot harsher and had harsher things to say about it morally.
Well, I think I fall in that category. I'm one of those people who's a little extra critical about things like that. But I don't know if that makes me
pictures of
jerky.
organic food.
Well, yeah, or
Yeah, I'm not
anything.
sure.
I'll analyze things a little more than maybe average people. So, but maybe that does make me, in some ways, it makes me hypercritical. Maybe in some people's minds, I could see how that works.
Yeah.
You should look at more pictures of brownies then.
Well, I like brownies.
Well, you could
too.
eat organic food and then look at pictures of like cakes, donuts, brownies, whatever. Like I would probably look at some ice cream photos or something. A sundae, that's always nice to look at.
Speaking of picky food people, there's this guy in Thiensville who is protesting a restaurant where the all-you-can-eat special did not give him all he could eat. Did you?
Oh, I
you guys
heard about
hear
this.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a real.
Oh,
now
yeah.
That guy sounds like a bastard.
Yeah, he sounds like a jerk, and I bet it wasn't even organic food.
Yeah, he's like a fatty that tries to like chow down everything in the restaurant, and then when he couldn't do it, he got pissed off.
He said it's false advertising. We asked for more fish, and they refused to give us any more fish. He told WTMJ
Sounds like Garfield
that.
or something like that.
He was cut off after he ate 12 pieces of fish.
Okay.
That's a lot
But
of fish.
maybe what they're saying is all you can eat, but not necessarily all the fish you can eat. You can just keep eating more bread or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or coleslaw.
It'll probably go to a court of law or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Can't.
That's a lot of food.
12
Maybe
pieces
they were
of
just
fish.
looking out for his health.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want him to have a heart attack.
I think they were looking out for their pocketbook.
Yeah, probably.
But
Yeah, fish is
it's
he's getting more of his money worth.
I wonder though, it's one of those things, no news is bad news. Maybe it actually helped this place. It's called Chuck's Place, I think. Because I bet you most people side with the restaurant on that one.
Probably.
I mean, you could tell he's just like going way overboard. There's also this other piece of news. We're sort of improvising tonight because our main news source is not here. Turns out,
He's on location.
I hope.
Well,
Well,
that's
I
a
hope
really
he's. I honestly
good
do
story.
hope he's okay because we don't know what happened. He just
Yeah.
didn't show up, and we're a little bit concerned. So hopefully everything's okay for Jim.
Trying to get a Ham Bones Blues Hour, but maybe that could be a show in the future. Ham Bones Blues Hour.
Well, speaking of that, do you want to put on another one of your songs
Sure.
from your band?
Sure,
Introduce another song.
Okay. I like the B song. It's a good kind of song of hope. It was the lead singer at the time was taking a good look at himself and kind of just reflecting on what he's done in his life and kind of really taking a look inside.
Uh-huh.
And you could really tell that he sings this song better than any other song that he ever sang because of this. And just really good production, and a lot of that came from our recording engineer at the time who
Why
really-
was it called the B song? Letter B.
I think mostly because it was in the key of B.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
So
All right. Well, this is Sweet Pick, the B song with Sweet Pick. And what did you play on it?
I was the drummer,
Okay.
and I think
you're drummer.
just drums on that one.
Okay. Well, here
I do
it is.
percussion and marimba on a couple of those tunes.
It's got a little slow intro coming, but it should be here.
Kind of fades in.
It's not too late, but the time it's coming past due for me to pick a path to a life I must choose. I must choose. Procrastination keeps me safe from the failure I might find. But it's a gray area, and to success I am blind. I know it's worth trying for. But to whom do you pray when no one's listening? Who do you pray to? Who do you
All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna answer Becky. She's back on the line with us, and she's got another story.
Hello.
Yeah. And I think this pertains to all us animal lovers around here. It says Italy's dog and cat tax was muzzled after uproar.
The taxes?
They were going to do a tax on dogs and cats. Like
Oh my
people's
God.
pets.
Oh,
Yeah.
they were gonna tax people. They were gonna tax people for having pets.
Yes, so like we'd have to pay a tax because we have two cats.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting thing, because is an animal? I mean, an animal is a little bit like a person in a way, but you don't tax people, do you?
No.
You usually get tax breaks for people. You should get tax breaks for pets.
The Chinese
Yeah,
have
we
the
should.
you can only have so many kids thing.
Right. Oh yeah, the Chinese tax you for having too many kids.
Yeah, right. So you have to pay
Yeah,
for
that's why
that.
they try to get rid of their kids. But yeah, it says, and this is just from Friday actually, it says a proposal to levy a tax on cats and dogs from Italy on Friday turned out to be all bark and no bite, after a wave of popular anger saw it withdrawn on the same day it was made public. So they shot that down pretty quick.
Huh. Well, that's good.
Yeah, it says the local media reported that a parliamentary commission had proposed a tax on domestic animals of affection, is how they call it, to
Domestic.
raise revenue for the cities and towns.
Yeah, well, that just shows that these people are just getting desperate for tax money. They want to put a fat tax on unhealthy food, by the
Oh,
way,
yeah,
and drinks.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that too.
And
Yeah.
salt and sugar, spice tax.
Yeah,
That's
Britain
crazy.
wants to put a 20% fat tax on unhealthy food and drink.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they do that on like cigarettes and alcohol too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I don't know where I don't know. I don't know where I sit on these things, because I'm like one of those people who I didn't think it really was fair to get rid of smoking in all the bars and everything. But then on the other hand, if you work in a bar and you make your living in a bar, you shouldn't have to be around all that secondhand smoke.
Yeah,
But
that's
you know, all that government intervention stuff, I don't know where I
It's
sit
a
on
little
it.
out of control at points, you know, like taxing fats and taxing spices. Like, what are they going to tax next? Air? You know, are they going to tax water? Like, you know, water in a bottle is pretty crazy, I think, as it is. You know, like
Air in the bottle?
or no, like water in a bottle, like bottled water.
Yeah.
You know, like for $1, you know, you'd think it'd be like 25 cents. That'd be a little more fair because
Right.
water technically is free, right? So,
Oh, it's supposed to be.
or
Well,
it should be.
Yeah.
That's the idea. Is it's commons. Something that the common good everybody needs to use.
Well, that doesn't
Air,
really-
The water,
Yeah.
ground. All
Yeah.
these things are
Well, right there, property tax.
right.
Yeah,
that's
property
true.
tax. That's true.
And then taxing pets.
And
Taxing
taxing
pets.
pets in Italy,
What-
which
what
they
they-
decided not to do because
Yeah.
people are very angry.
What
Right.
were they calling it? The affection tax?
Yeah, there's quotes around here. Animals of affection is how they were going to say the tax was. And then it goes on to
Kinda
say, like,
crazy.
the
So
only
probably
thing
like a
that's
lizard.
left is-
What about a lizard? Is
Yeah.
that a,
What about a snake?
It's not as. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a very
Snakes aren't affectionate.
No.
Turtles
Yeah,
aren't
no.
either.
Yeah, we have a turtle, and it's very indifferent. So would she be exempt from this tax?
You
How
would
does
think.
that work?
they don't have turtles in Italy.
No.
No.
What?
They don't actually believe in them. They're-
Turtles do not exist in it.
Well, speaking of weird news, Jim and Friends Read the News
Yes.
happens to be
Yeah.
back in the studio
Jim is
now.
here.
Sorry
He's
for
okay. He didn't.
everyone. Fine. I was just asleep in my apartment there on the corner with my roommates. I should have mentioned that maybe I shouldn't be sleeping.
Uh-huh.
But,
Huh?
my bad. Sorry, guys.
Well, no, we made it. It's 9:55.
We
Yeah.
pulled it off.
Yeah,
Thanks
we're-
to
We're
Becky.
just glad you're okay.
Yeah, and we are. It's actually good
Becky
news
calling
that
in.
you're okay. That's the
Saving
main
the
thing.
day.
Yeah.
And we got to hear a couple good Sweet Pig tracks that I enjoy.
No,
Yeah.
nice. So
Yeah,
you
we
got to
did.
play some of the tracks.
Couple of tracks.
Good deal.
Yeah.
1.5.
Listen to the show.
Well, and Becky came in. That's another great thing is we just had
Oh, yeah.
a lot of really good.
Yeah, that sounds really good, actually.
hope.
I'm glad that we listened to the call-in here. We never had a call-in before.
Is this our first call-in?
This is our first
It's our
call-in.
first call-in.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was our first call-in.
Mhm.
I thought we did one before, but I guess
Well,
not.
we had someone on my phone on the speaker phone, though. This is like the
Ah.
actual real way, I guess.
This is like the official
Here's one for
studio
you,
line.
Becky.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, here's a little loops tune that we made today for the news show. I'll play that in the background, and maybe we'll do one more. Becky, do you have any more stories? Any more news stories?
I think I'm kind of all tapped out. I can see if I can find something, but
Well, if you find one, but if you don't, that's okay because we really are kind of needing to wrap it up anyhow.
So let's do an overview of our stories this week. So we talked about the Google boy,
The
who
Google boy?
yeah, he won he won a
I
contest,
voted on that.
and he got this picture on Google. He beat out like 17,000 entries, and he's a 7-year-old. And he did this amazing, Google,
The
image.
picture, yeah, check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
I remember
Google
seeing
one.
that. That was
Excellent
really good.
shading too.
Yeah.
And we talked about real estate. We talked
Yeah.
about the dog and cat tax. We
we talked about the man in Milwaukee who was found dead after
Oh yes,
died 4
Yeah, that
years
was
ago.
wild.
4 years ago they found a skeleton.
Found
just
with the
found
gun
it
on.
now?
He had shot himself, and no one bothered to go in his house for 4 years.
Yeah.
But they were mowing his lawn. The bank was mowing his lawn and sending him bills and everything, but no one
And
bothered to
just
go.
kept piling up. No one
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah. Nobody bothered to go in the
So
house.
The only reason everyone knew is because there was like this big ticket, a big ticket
Yeah,
pile.
yeah.
Like,
It just
you
got to be like
it's like,
$36,000.
you
We should
owe
just check on this guy.
$3,600 in fines.
Yeah, it's sad.
Maybe someone should go.
Maybe someone should
Someone
see
go
if he's
see what's
alive.
going on.
yeah, the government didn't care until they wanted to get their money.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we heard
Then they
about
checked that
the underwear burglars, the burglar
yeah.
with the underwear on his head,
The Russian guy too.
the Russian guy who jumped down a laundry chute to get away from his girlfriend and got stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the sex. What was there? Was some sex thing?
Oh,
yeah.
you're not supposed to record your neighbors having sex and post it online.
No.
but it's also
It
a good
might be
idea.
illegal.
Yeah. It's also a good idea because it probably got them to think twice about, being extra loud when they're doing that.
You know, but I have to say, I feel for them in a little way. You know, maybe they didn't realize that they were bugging their neighbors. You know, maybe they thought that no one could hear
Well,
because they were just like in there.
There were
alone.
other neighbors yelling like "shut up" like in the background.
But
too,
maybe
of
they're
these
just so
recordings.
Others-
passionate that they
Oh,
lost
yeah.
track of
They were in the
reality.
moment.
Shut up
possible.
in the background.
Yeah, there's like people banging on the floor. You know, like ceilings, walls.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You learned it's a great way to get traffic to your website.
Yeah, that is a good way
Absolutely.
to get traffic.
And
Yeah,
also,
they got a bunch of stuff.
lawyer traffic to your website too.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, Becky, for joining us, and Gabe, thanks for your musical help, and Jim, thanks for for coming in.
thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing, Jimbo.
I'm sorry, guys. Well, thank you guys for taking care of my show.
Thanks for showing us that you're still good.
It was a lot of fun. Until next week, we'll get Jim an alarm clock and
Yeah.
keep him away from that pizza.
Well, all right.
Stay off the za.
Yeah, my goodness. All right.
Okay, hasta la,
All right,
hasta
sign
la,
off.
hasta la pizza.
Until next week.